it's only me, Claire Baker, former Clutterholic, founder of clutterclearing.net, recording my weekly vlog and updating you on how my personal clutter clearing journey is going with my weight loss clutter clearing. Thank you for all of your kind messages that you posted or emailed me from last week. Last week, as you may remember, I wasn't quite on top form, understatement, because I was unwell and I was off to my doctor. Thank you if you did comment. Just a couple that people said. Carolyn said, sorry you don't feel well. What did the doctor say today? I hope you feel better real soon, Claire. Please rest as much as you can. The doctor it was a health practitioner. Not quite sure what the difference is really. But he prodded and looked in my ears and looked in my throat and everything, and basically confirmed that I had flu and an ear infection, but didn't give me antibiotics because obviously they're trying to cut down because lots of strains of viruses are becoming resistant to antibiotics. And he said if it doesn't get better, if you're still no better in a week, come back. And so I was a bit frustrated, to say the least. I felt dreadful. I was waking up each day hoping I would feel better and then realising that I didn't feel any better. I felt like I should have like a nosometer meter that recorded the colour of my nose goings on, because it didn't seem to improve at all, and I was really feeling dreadful. But as you can probably see in here, I am almost back to normal. Yay! 13 days. 13 days ill, pretty much bedridden really, going from bed to underneath the duvet on the sofa. Now I know what it feels like to be my cats, who just seem to sleep all day. Yeah, really, I mean, I turned the corner relatively quickly when it turned on. It was Sunday really. I actually felt like I could put on some clothes today. I did go. My husband disappeared off down to my my mother-in-law because she was doing lunch, and his cousin was going to be there. I didn't feel up to that. I was at that point where I thought, well, I can try and do something, but I need to be able to retreat to bed if I overdo it. And sure enough, I did overdo it. I tried to empty the compost bin in the garden. Small thing. I only did it for a very short while, but that wore me out, and I did have an afternoon nap. Managed yesterday without an afternoon nap. So felt quite good. It's ridiculous, isn't it, how you kind of have to re-gauge things. So yeah, so I was really frustrated this time last week that the doctor didn't, or nurse practitioner, didn't give me antibiotics, but I do understand why. I'm not somebody who pops pills. I won't reach for the medicine cabinet. My husband and I, we only buy in ibuprofen and paracetamol as necessary. So we don't have a medicine cabinet because we don't keep medicines in. So yeah, really frustrated. But touch wood, you know, nearly there. So at least properly back at work now. Thankfully, because I work with most of my clients on the telephone or via Skype, it's meant I've been able to get back to work without having to be fully fit. August is a quiet time anyway, so I'm not doing home visits, so that's a blessing. But it really knocked me out. It's felt like more than 13 days or 2 weeks. Yeah, got very frustrated. Still frustrated, not back at the gym. Don't want to completely overdo it. Hoping to get back to the gym tomorrow. And it'll be interesting when I share with you how it's affected my weight loss journey. But like I say, you can probably see Gatsby in his bed. We've got a new home for the bed. How they do it? How do they do so much sleeping? I understand how they do the eating, but I don't understand how they do so much sleeping. They went to the vet yesterday for their annual boosters, the 3 of them. Oh, he's a chunky monkey. He's actually got to go on a diet. How ironic. Like mother, like cat. So he's not too happy. Didn't get breakfast. today. So yes. So again, this being poorly and doing nothing is not good for your weight, whether you're human or whether you're a cat. Paulette also left a lovely message. Get well very soon, hun. So sorry to hear you are feeling so awful just now, but know that you are loved and we will miss you. Oh. People do watch these videos, it's amazing. And said, yes, they're cutting down on antibiotics these days, but horrible when you really need them for infections. Yeah, but my body has the immunity for it now. So again, I didn't, you know, not having the antibiotics was very frustrating at the time. Really frustrating, even last Friday when I just still felt dreadful, but it was the right thing to do. I do hope you get better soon. Eileen said, hope you feel better soon, Claire. And Caroline said, I had an ear infection or two. I've had an ear infection or two and never gotten antibiotics. Just permanent tinnitus and ibuprofen. Yes. Unfortunately, antibiotics almost certainly wouldn't help your flu. Yeah, it would have been for the ear infection. Not fun being ill. Get well soon. I'm going to decide that that is my illness for the year. 2 weeks illness, that's done. At least the weather wasn't great. You can't see out the window. But what was quite funny yesterday was that I did go down the office, and the office at the end of the garden rather than this, my consulting office, and 3 sunflowers had come out, huge, bigger than dinner plates, and that's really lovely because, as you may know, I plant 3 sunflowers every year, one for me, one for my husband, and one for Frank, my father-in-law, who passed away over 18 months ago now. I used to give him 3 seedlings every year, and I'd have 3 seedlings every year. We'd plant them in our gardens. We were the 3 musketeers, the 3 of us. So yeah, so it was lovely. It was almost like the garden was smiling at me when I went out into the garden. Good for the bees as well, and will be good for the birds come autumn time. So it's like a buffet. My sunflowers, they stay out a long time. They look dreadful over the winter, but they are really important for the birds. So yeah, so that was good. It was like a welcome back. Okay, how's my weight loss journey gone this week? Huh, not good. Not good. My little chart, can you see my little chart? Oh dear. It's just not shifting at the moment, but that's fine. I know why. So yeah, I do have to keep reminding myself, look how far I've come, but bobbing along, plateauing, as Marissa would say, for the last, well, 6 months really. I'll come on to that in a minute. I have also discovered 2 additional success factors, or not discovered, realised 2 additional success factors. So, the first success factor, feedback and learning. Being poorly, doing nothing, not good for weight loss. Definitely realised how important the exercise is, having not been to the gym for nearly 3 weeks. So yeah, desperate to go back to the gym. Really wanted to go yesterday, but my husband said, no, don't overdo it because I'm not quite there. But really, really missing it. Feeling really sluggish, feeling really wobbly. And you know, just really conscious that it's not doing me good. Last Thursday, having woken up for the, what would that have been, 10th day in a row, feeling dreadful, I did think, you know what, I need to actually eat some stuff. My body is still having these hot and cold flushes, sweating, then go cold. I just felt as though, rightly or wrongly, I have no idea, but it felt as if my body needed some carbs to do what it needed to do to fight the infection. So with nothing else really in the house and my husband out of work, I ate toast. I ate quite a bit of toast on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, which I was beating myself up because I was eating carbs and sugar, but at the same time I felt as though my body was burning it. It wasn't. Oh, I haven't even told you, have I? This week I put on 5 pounds. Yeah, so obviously it wasn't burning the carbs and the sugar that I was eating, but it did feel as if it needed something to use, to work on. So Marissa, I am sure, would say to me, you know, it's only short term, you know why. It's you know, it's exceptional circumstances, isn't it? Where when you're poorly, you know, it wasn't like I had a cold. I had proper full-on flu and an ear infection. Not that I'm trying to make excuses, but I am torn between this whole, you know, I've given in to the eating over the last week. My defences, my strength, my motivation was low, and I ate things I shouldn't have done. Was it Friday night? Friday night? Saturday night? No, it's Friday night because we watched Gardener's World, that's right. Friday night, my husband couldn't be bothered to cook. He wanted to eat. And for the first time in literally about 2 years, he got a Chinese takeaway delivered. And yes, I did have that. And I'm allergic to MSG anyway. Oh, recipe for disaster. So sugar, MSG, carbs, Chinese takeaway. It was quite nice, but didn't really taste of much. If I'm brutally honest, it didn't. The taste buds totally changed, but I did eat it. So yeah, so that probably accounts for probably £3 of the £5 gain. So feedback and learning when you're poorly. Again, I don't know whether I should have increased my food intake and just say forget the diet. Not even diet, because it's not a diet, it's an eating plan. Yeah. Counting my food went out the window. Avoiding carbs and sugars went out the window. That's because there was no other real food in the house. If you know, there was a toast loaf in the cupboard because my husband eats it, and I ate it. And of course, as I know from what I've learnt before, it takes me a while to get back on the eating plan train, on the wagon, and it takes several days for it to come out my system. I still feel bloated. I can still feel the carbs and the sugar in my system, and I think that's separate to the cold, the flu still being there. So yeah, feedback and learning. You know, I'm not going to beat myself up too much, but I am actually beating myself up, even though I was poorly. But I just don't want to get into that habit. We can so easily get into that habit of making excuses, can't we? Whether it's our physical clutter in our home or whether it's losing weight. Oh, well, there was a good reason. And as I always say to my clients, falling off the wagon or not continuing your clutter clearing journey for 2 weeks is life getting in the way. More than 2 weeks is excuses and procrastination. So I am very conscious that I've had 2 weeks of having flu and an ear infection. I've been off the wagon for 2 weeks. I have to nip this in the bud now because it goes beyond this, and that will be me out of the habit of eating the way that I eat. So I need to practice what I preach. My clients, they're allowed 2 weeks to let life get in the way. Beyond 2 weeks, that's procrastination, that's avoidance. So I'm learning literally firsthand, being reminded. So yeah, £5 gain, though I am thinking, hoping, praying, that £2-3 of that will fall off pretty quickly, pretty easily, once I've got these carbs and these sugars out of my system. When was the last excuse me, when was the last time I had carbs and sugar? Oh, I did have it yesterday. Yeah, I did have some carbs and sugar yesterday. My husband got some Belgian white chocolate oat cookies from the farm on his way home, from the job he was doing. Oh, they're lovely. Let me turn that on. Oh, they're lovely. But obviously carbs and sugar. Second success factor, time and patience. Again, this 2 weeks grace. It's okay to fall off the wagon for 2 weeks, but I'm not going to let any more time pass Patience. This bobbing up and down, this plateauing is really frustrating me, which will bring me on to the 2 new success factors that I've kind of identified. In terms of time to patience, I don't have counselling for August. I'm back to Marissa on in September, and I've set a goal with her. I think I mentioned it last week, of getting to 195. So that means I need to lose £10 by the beginning of September. Totally doable, I'm sure. But I need to be patient. I need to have a plan. Marissa will not laugh. She will laugh if she knew that I was saying, I need to get my spreadsheet out. I need to do a little plan. Doing the doing. I've done no proper food planning this week, really for the last 2 weeks, and I haven't been to the gym. So again, I've completely ignored this success factor over the last 2 weeks. That's why I haven't succeeded. Not rocket science. I can frustrate myself as much as I like. Again, method. Not rocket science. I haven't stuck to the method. I haven't stayed away from the carbs and the sugar. I haven't kept within my nutritional levels. And I haven't been to the gym and done any exercise. Guess what? You don't do the success factor, you don't get success. I've slightly tweaked the 5th success factor, which is the support and motivation. So the support for me is normally the counselling and the TRE. I wasn't able to do the TRE 2 weeks ago, the last week in July. My husband did go on his own, very proud. It is a strange scenario though, because as I've probably said to you, TRE, ladies, you'll understand, is basically lying on your back with your legs in the cervical smear position, and you naturally tremor, shake, and that's your body releasing the stress. My husband has been doing that now he'd done it for 6 weeks, and then I wasn't able to go the last week of July because I was just too poorly. And he did go on his own, which was great. But we go to Marissa, my counsellor's home, and she, for the last week that I was there, she had actually placed her hands on my husband's knees. So he's lying on the floor, legs in the air, knees in the air, and she touches his knees in order to get some tremoring going, because his tremoring wasn't going very, very strong. So it was that weird thing of, oh, my counsellor's touching my husband's legs. And then afterwards, it was like, oh, so how was that for you? And it was just really strange seeing my counsellor say to my husband, oh, well, it was good for me. Was it good for you? Very bizarre. So he had that again as well. But so yeah, very strange. Very funny. Yeah, so I didn't have my TRE for that last one before the holiday break, and we didn't do TRE last week because I simply wasn't well enough. I will aim to do a TRE session with my husband this Thursday. So again, keeping that routine up, but just doing it at home because Marissa is on holiday. Counselling, haven't had the counselling last week or this week. This is a form of counselling, really. I'm telling you what's going on. But you know, I feel pretty well supported. Again, we don't want to get dependent on other people. So with the counselling, really important not to get dependent on the counsellor. I've added the motivation because in my last session with Marissa, she mentioned how motivated are you, and I realised I wasn't motivated at all because I felt really awful. So again, being poorly affects our motivation, doesn't it? But it did highlight the fact that I need to make sure I have a motivation, a goal. What is my motivation now? I've lost a lot of weight, but what's going to motivate me to lose the remaining amount I need to lose? I'm still stuck. I'm still stuck with that. You know, I've thought that it's been clothes, seeing clothes in the wardrobe that I can get into. I don't think it is. you know, and I've tried to, we need a new bathroom. And because the bathroom that we've had for 14 years, it's tired. We want to change the bath into a shower, a walk-in shower. It costs quite a lot of money. We haven't got the money to do it. And I thought, would doing the bathroom be a motivation? But actually, it's not, because we haven't got the money there to do it. If we had the pot of money to do it, and I said, right, when I get to goal, my reward will be that I take on the project of getting the bathroom done, that probably would help. But because we haven't got the money to do it, if you like, that's not motivating me. Does that make sense? We also need a new kitchen, but we want to do the kitchen when we can afford to do an extension to the house. And we also need a new roof, but a roof isn't exciting, is it? You're not going to be enjoying that every day, whereas a bathroom is something that we would use every day. So I've got to find something that is going to motivate me, that, if you like, isn't linked to money, a cost, but is sufficient to motivate me to do this last bit. I'll work on that. See if I come up with something for next week. So support is also about motivation. That's why I've added on motivation. Okay, so two additional success factors that I've discovered, realised over the last couple of weeks while I've been poorly. Planning and routine. I haven't done any planning over the last 2 weeks. And just with like our physical clutter clearing, planning is really important, as is getting into a routine. This will all be highlighted on the new journey options that are going to be available on the new Clutter Clearing website. Realistically, that's probably going to get launched at the beginning of September now, because obviously I've had 2 weeks where I haven't been able to work on it. But planning and routine is really important to succeeding with a particular goal. And obviously my planning is my food planning, and my routine is going to the gym. Neither of which I have done over the last 2 weeks. Guess what? This is the success factor. This is why I haven't succeeded at losing weight over the last couple of weeks. So that will become important. If I haven't done any planning, if I haven't followed my routine, I'm not going to clear the clutter. And then the final, 7th success factor that I've kind of identified over the last couple of weeks is gratitude / successes / perspective. So what do I mean by this? I may not have cleared my clutter, my physical clutter, my weight clutter over the last couple of weeks because I've been poorly. However, there are some things that I'm grateful for. There are some things that were a success, if you like, and I have got to keep it in perspective. So the gratitude, so this is kind of linking in the same thing of just almost reflection, I suppose. So I'm grateful that I've had flu, because I've had it, it's out the way. I shouldn't have it again this year. I've fated it now, haven't I? And I'm grateful that I have been able to lose as much weight as I have been able to lose. I have had successes, maybe not over the last couple of weeks, but I have nonetheless had successes. So, you know, I've lost, okay, it's 7 stone now, but I'm going to argue that it's 7.5, because I'm fairly sure that I will lose those 5 pounds that I've put on in the next week. So again, this is where, in terms of clutter clearing, our physical clutter in our home, this is what my clients have as a success diary. Each day, recording the positive things that have happened. I keep a success diary. I have a diary at the side of my bed, and every night I aim to list at least 10 things which were positive in my life / successes. So over the last couple of weeks, it's only been, you know, things like, you know, the cats were cute, or, you know, it was sunny, or saw the birds in the garden. They've not been successes in terms of stuck to my points or stuck to my food plan, not points, levels, but nonetheless, acknowledging what is good, even though, you know, things may not have been successes in terms of my weight loss journey. And perspective. again, looking at that chart that I showed you, I have lost quite a lot of weight. The last bit that I need to lose will be lost. So keeping it in perspective, 2 weeks of not sticking to the plan, not achieving my successes. It's only 2 weeks. You know, I've been eating this way for 18 months now, since February last year. So again, got to keep it in perspective. I'm heading. Okay, I haven't headed in the right direction because I've put on weight in the last couple of weeks, but I am overall heading in the right direction. Let's keep this in perspective. I know what works. I know what to do. I can get back on track now because I'm 90% recovered from my flu and ear infection. So yeah, keeping it in perspective. So I think these 2 extra success factors will help over the coming weeks. Just gotta nail that motivation. Figure out what that motivation is going to be. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you've had a good week. Keep the comments, the sharing going. I know it is tough over the summer as well, especially if you are taking holiday time and you know, going away on holiday. If you are, have a lovely time. But yes, so we're back on track, back with the program, back to work. And if you're a client, I shall no doubt speak to you at some point this week. But if not, I shall see you same time, same place next week. Take care. Have a good week. Bye.